I just have a few questions for you. I'd like to actually hear both of your backgrounds in terms of kind of professional background and especially how you got into green building. So Patti, why don't we start with you?
Okay, well professionally I started out in the world of commercial art and advertising and then ended up morphing into fine arts and earth sciences. So I wanted to combine art with environmental action. And ultimately, I feel like the communication strategies that we need to use to have an impact environmentally really need to be very meaningful. And so it's been a great opportunity for me to be able to morph my passion with art and advertising and into an environmental action step.
Then you also have done quite a bit getting into green building before you were here at King County. Maybe if you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I spent 10 years, before I got into the green building industry, I had spent 10 years working with found objects and architectural structures and working with architects on installations, and ended up getting an offer to run a timber company that was setting up a local showroom in Seattle. It was called Duluth Timber Company. And we had a combination of furniture, structural elements, and flooring, finished materials. So that was my entry into green building. And the first project that I worked on was supplying materials to Bill Gates's house, which was a little
Wow.
over 50,000 square feet.
That's incredible.
And it was an architectural masterpiece, but at the same time, I wasn't comfortable working in that market. And I joined the Northwest Eco Building Guild and decided to get involved in green building from an aspect that would have more social equity, where we could make market transformation and get green building to the masses and not just to the people that were doing high-end custom homes.
Okay, cool.
So that's how I got
And then you
involved.
went into the Environmental Home Center from there.
Yeah, I
And-
spent 5 years with Environmental Home Center doing business development, and both with Duluth Timber Company and Environmental Home Center had been involved with founding the Built Green program, was an early member of the Cascadia Green Building Council and the USGBC, and had done a bunch of work with King County on the Commission for Marketing Recyclable Materials, which has now become our Link Up program, and really liked the folks that I was working with at King County, really felt like the county had been a very progressive government and was excited to get involved with policy making. So it's been just about 5 years since I joined King County, and within the first year working for King County, I became a member of the zHome team. So
Cool.
that's how it all got started.
That's awesome. Kinley, let's hear from you. So tell us about your background and how you got into green building.
Well, let's see. I was in the Peace Corps in Mongolia many
Oh.
years ago,
Oh my gosh.
and learned a lot there about straw bale construction. There was an organization that was doing a lot of straw bale construction at the time. Learned about that. Helped design a new office building for the National Park Office that I worked at. It never got built, as far as I know, but it was really good design practice for me and a good introduction to green building principles, sustainable design. Got back here, started working for King County. I originally worked on business recycling, and at some point the position came open to switch over to construction demolition recycling. And with my strong background in the recycling aspect, it was a good fit, and it was about the same time that my wife and I had started designing our own small off-grid home. And so I was doing a whole lot of research at home on my own, figuring out sustainable design and green building, and just building my knowledge. And so it was kind of a really nice job opportunity for me to slide into that position, and I've been learning ever since.
That's great. That's cool. So the house you live in right now is an off-the-grid house?
Yeah, it's about 800 square feet, right-sized, as we call it.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's excellent.
That's very cool. It's very high efficiency, and then you have solar panels
Yep.
to generate electricity?
Yep.
So you have no tie into the electrical grid at all?
No.
Wow, that's awesome. I'd like to hear both of you talk a little bit about what you do here at the county. Patty, why don't we start with you, just talking about what you do at GreenTools.
Well, I'm the outreach coordinator for the program. I'm also the project manager for the residential part of the GreenTools program. We have a commercial side and a residential side. So working a lot with trade associations like the Master Builders Association, the AIA, Cascadia Green Building Council on putting educational programs together. And then on the residential side in particular, I provide technical assistance and work on the Eco Pool remodel tool that we've put together for consumers to help them with their green remodeling projects. I write case studies, do a lot with different media outlets, work on videos, and just primarily spend a lot of time looking for the best ways to leverage optimization of getting the message out there in King County about green building. And the other project that I've been working on quite a bit is working with the suburban cities to help them get their green building programs implemented. And that's been an extremely rewarding process for the last 3 years. I worked on the design of the first CD-ROM toolkit that GreenTools produced, and now we're on the second version, which is a virtual city online sustainable. Kinley, what do you do for King County?
Yeah, you want to know?
Yeah.
So, I'm the construction demolition specialist for the county, and my job basically is to divert C&D construction demolition materials away from the landfills and anything that has a higher and better use to try to get it used for that purpose. So within that, I do a lot of work internally with King County projects, working with project managers, trying to start as early in the process as I can if they have a house that needs to be removed from the site, and try to get them to think about house moving and full deconstruction, partial deconstruction, salvage, whatever is necessitated by the value of the materials in the building. And then I also manage the construction demolition side of the GreenTools website, and we have information on there, reporting for each of the construction demolition processing facilities. So somebody can go onto that website and see what the diversion rate is for each of those facilities. So it helps a lot with trying to get LEED credits or Build Green credits.
Interesting, okay.
So I maintain that, and then I'm just a general resource for anybody who calls or emails or walks in the door, who's looking for construction demolition assistance and guidance. How to do job site recycling, any of it.
Okay, wow, that's great. One last question, I'd like to just hear you guys talk about where you think the green building market is right now and where you see it headed. So Patty, why don't we start with you?
Well, I think the interesting opportunity that's come from this economic downturn is that the green market is actually increasing its market share from a percentage basis. We're seeing added value with green homes that are holding their value in the resale marketplace. I'm really excited about zero energy projects. At the same time, I'm concerned that that's going to be too much of the focus as we attack the climate change issues and the carbon sequestration issues that come with buildings. We're highly focused on energy, and I think we really need to start developing more holistic systems for the built environment. And but I do think we're headed in the right direction.
One of the things that I think has been really good about the economic downturn is that it's kind of, unfortunately forced people, I guess, into having more time to learn more. For a long time, the builders and the developers and the architects and designers, everybody has been so busy with so much work that they haven't had the time necessarily to stop and re-educate themselves on some of the things that have been developing in the past years. So while they're not as busy and they're not making the income, it's a great opportunity to kind of retool.
Well, you guys, thanks so much for spending time together. We'll charge forward, and thank you very much.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's a great project. We're excited.